This is IQMZ Tech, episode 16, recorded Tuesday, the 3rd of September, 2019. Hello and welcome to IQMZ Tech, the show where we talk about some of the biggest tech news stories with people who are passionate about all things electronic.
Yo, what up? I'm your boy, JJ Stone, a.k.a. O Doctor.
And I'm Anthony Lemos, a.k.a. Claimless Amos. My VA
claimless.
claim. Yeah, my VA claim hasn't come back yet, so.
You got 1 foot in the grave, brother. 1 foot in the grave.
It's something like that. It's not the best. Hey, we're gonna get into the news. We want to say welcome back to the people that have been waiting almost a year for us to come in and do this episode. Because it's
a year, I'd say 8 months. I wouldn't fully say a year.
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, don't make it as bad as it already is bad. You know, 4 months is 4 months. That's a big deal. Okay. I've gone a year without sex versus 8 months. 8 months sounds a lot better. I mean, it still doesn't sound good.
True.
It definitely sounds better.
To those of us who are listening for the first time or watching for the first time because you just caught the IQMZ Tech train, this is a show where Owen and I go through some of the big stories of the week and we give our normal guy impression on things. We're not journalists. We're enthusiasts. So we talk real talk.
I write in my journal every night. I just don't share it with the world.
Porsche stepped up its advertising ahead of launch of their all-electric Taycan. I think I'm saying that right. Having driver Shay Holbrook take the sports car from 0 to 90 and back to 0 on the flight deck of the USS Hornet, covering just under 223 meters. Have we finally arrived at the electric sports car era? Is that where we're at now?
Well, now that there's competition, I guess you could say that because Tesla's been out there doing it. I mean, the whole aircraft carrier thing, I saw it done much better with a BMW like 6 years ago, where the guy was like riding around and hitting the curves and drifting off of a deck. But I mean, the fact they have a female driver, which was nice, and the fact that I was like the stopping ability of that, I was like, man, I could be out here just speed demoning and stop on a dime too. I might need that Porsche. Everybody's got a Tesla. I might need that Porsche.
I heard a comedian once say that they don't need a car that goes from 0 to 60 in 2.2 seconds. They need a car that goes from 90 to 60 in under the time it takes a radar scope to hit them. So,
right. You come around the corner, you see a cop, and you just stop on a dime, and the cop's like, "So what are you doing?" "I'm just sitting here on the highway. What do you think I'm doing, officer?" I mean, it is what it is, you know.
Yeah, this video was fun to watch. I didn't realize how rough aircraft carrier. Of course, this is an older aircraft carrier. This is one that used to pick up like the Apollo astronauts out of the water and stuff. But it was a rough surface. This was not a smooth surface that they were driving this on or braking on, and they had plenty of space left, and it was pretty nice. I enjoyed the video. It was pretty cool.
I just think that I want one, and I can't afford it. I mean, I could afford it. I just can afford to do other things like support my child or eat or breathe oxygen at that point. But I mean, I really, really want this Porsche. I'm trying to figure out any which way but loose that I could get my hands on one.
Yeah,
I need it in my life.
This is it shows it. We're watching the video now, and it accelerates pretty quick. She gets it up to 91 miles an hour and then drops back down. It's pretty cool. It's
impressive. It's impressive how fast and it's so dumb because you see Teslas take off all the time, and I know they have a quick stopping distance too.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's as good as that. And again, I'm just a fan of competition and the look of the car also, because has that classic Porsche ambiance about it.
I think that's the kicker, right? It's got the Porsche shape. It's not the Tesla, which is kind of like almost a Taurus that's been shaped better, but it's a Porsche. Like, it looks like a Porsche. Yeah. It doesn't look like some outlandish whatever. It looks like a Porsche.
The other car that I like right now that's just out of my reasonable lifestyle range is the Lamborghini truck, because it looks like a small SUV, but it looks like a Lamborghini. And, oh, man, every time I see one, I'm like, who needs that? I need that. I don't know if anybody really needs that, but I need one. So I can't even really, whenever I see a celebrity getting into one, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's actually pretty dope looking. So I get it. But competition's good.
Yeah.
Competition's good.
Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey had his Twitter account hijacked by a group calling themselves Chuckling Squad. The attack was done using a SIM swap attack where the user's phone number is swapped to another device, which can then be used to intercept a two-factor authentication SMS. This is essentially a carrier-level hack, and Jack Dorsey was just one of several such attacks on the AT&T network in recent weeks. Jack can't pay attention to his own advice, and his Twitter account got just stupid.
So this has happened a lot in the last month. A lot of Instagram, I guess, celebrities you'd say, or now they're actually like regular celebrities. I shouldn't call them Instagram celebrities, but people have been getting. Yeah, I should just call them celebrities, right? Like they're on TV, they got shows and stuff now.
They're
whatever.
Influencers.
No, these are actually celebrities. Like they're on TV. They've got like things going on in their life. I mean, like I'm an influencer. I got free PDQ chicken from tweeting out about it the other day. Like, I mean, the influencer has been lowered. The bar has been lowered dramatically. There's a lot of people. Anyway, people are get me off on this thing. We'll talk about influencers another day. People are getting hacked left and right, and a lot of people are getting hacked just taking their phones in to get upgrades or swapped out. And people are doing a SIM card thing where they're cloning the SIM cards or copying it. And I'm like, man alive! But if it happened to Jack.
Well, the warning has been out there for a long time that you can clone phone numbers. You can, if you just get a short-term possession of a phone, whatever else, you don't even have to unlock a phone most of the time because most people have their text messages just pop up without the privacy stuff. So you don't even have to have an unlocked phone to get this SMS authentication. This should not be anybody's two-factor authentication. And this is something that Twitter enforced for a long time and just recently started going into allow people to use Authy or Google Authenticator or things like that. I think it's just the story here is that the CEO of a platform got that platform itself jacked, and I just think that's hilarious because you got to protect your own. Like, if you can't protect your own, why should anyone trust you?
So that's not fair. That's not fair. Normally, I'd be all over Jack about this, but you saying that right now is just not fair. Okay? He is a regular human being. He's not some super duper spy agent. Okay? He didn't actually just sit down and write the code for Twitter. He's not an engineer. He's a regular dude who got hacked. He just happens to be the dude that owns a thing that says all kinds of ways you should be protecting yourself, and you don't. Like, I mean, if anybody's listening out there and they're anywhere close to Mark Zuckerberg, I bet Mark Zuckerberg's t-shirts, because he only wears the same 7 t-shirts. I bet all his t-shirts and pants have RFID protection threaded into them, so that even when you're standing next to him, you can't just get a hold of his phone.
Yeah.
Because God help us if you got his messages from iMessage. So I know for a fact, that they have a special capability on their end. I know people that have chatted with him about certain things, and then he can go in and delete your messages on your messenger.
Mm-hmm.
The power.
Yeah. In part of my mind, my more cynical mind, the news here to me is that Jack Dorsey actually uses the product he's a CEO of. Like, I never expect Mark Zuckerberg to be on Facebook doing anything, or Jack Dorsey to be doing anything on Twitter. Like, I just don't expect them to use the platforms because they design them in such a way to be so addictive to the common person that I wouldn't think that they'd want to subject themselves to it. But that's just my cynical mind.
You don't think the general eats KFC? You don't think Wendy? Have you seen the real Wendy? She kind of thick. You know she's out here eating Wendy's every day. What do you mean? If you're the CEO, you got to taste your product. Unless you're like Steve Jobs, who's a rest in peace, a semi-sociopath talking about, I wouldn't let my children play with an iPad. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Good luck with that. Good luck with sheltering. That's like not Michael Jackson. That's a horrible reference right now. That's just like That's just like a popular musician not letting their kids pick up an instrument or listen to music. Like you're a global icon and you don't want your kids listening to music. It just sounds silly. And like I said, Jack's a degular dude who got hacked. But at least there was no dick pics. At least there was no dick pics. That's all I can say. Because everybody who gets hacked always has a dick pic pop out. But Jack's a classy guy. He gets hacked in the regular way.
Some people hack themselves and show their dick pics.
Hey.
Tech Republic published an edited interview with Charity Wright. Man, let me start that over. Tech Republic published an edited interview with Charity Wright, if that is her real name, on the inner workings of the Russian dark web, cybercrime, and the status of security around the world. This was an eye-opening article to me. These are all the things that I kind of knew were out there, but hearing a so-called professional say that they're out there, man, that doesn't bode well for my anxiety level.
So this was written by my buddy Dan Patterson. Shout out to Dan. We're going to get him on the show one day. We might even get him on soon, have him talk about this topic, this article, because I know this is how the world works. This is why I have aluminum foil that I sleep with on my chat every night, just to keep my brain waves in check, because you know that the knowledge that's in here can't be seeping out into the world. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying it's not a shaved head. It's actually just a prosthetic over the tin foil that you wear in your head all the time.
Picture me like the Terminator from the year 2025. Okay, that's how I'm rolling underneath here. Okay, I gotta protect this knowledge I got up here. But I'm saying, the dark web, people forget until something bad happens how incredulous and seedy and powerful the dark web is. Like, I'm not trying to rat on myself, but I've dabbled in the dark web, and certain times things pop up and you're like, whoa, get me out of here. That is not what I was looking for. Like, no. I'm sitting there like, I'm checking down the street. I'm waiting for FBI helicopters to show up because I'm like, I didn't mean it. That's not what I'm here for. I just came to check out some stuff. I was trying to get some crypto money laundered. I don't know what I was doing, but I didn't mean to click on that. Oh my gosh. Oh, what do they do with these donkeys? I don't understand why they have so many donkeys. Like, it's dark web. It's crazy.
I thought the really good part about this was the fact that she said we spend literally years developing these online personas, and we're not trying to hack anybody once we get in. We buy the hacks that they've already built. Like, that's their business, is to acquire the technology that other people have, not to stop it from going anywhere else, but just to understand it so they could build up, something to counter it. And that, to me, man, I'm glad these people are out there, but I don't know if I'd want that job. That just seems like the FBI agent who is in the chat rooms posing as a 13-year-old girl trying to catch the sex criminals. Like, they're out there. I'm glad people are stopping them, but I don't want that job, and I don't want this job.
There was somebody who recently just got caught trying to hire a hitman on the dark web because they were actually speaking to a law enforcement agent. So that is, so people talk about the job of Facebook, the people who regulate, and Twitter, the people who regulate racism, murder, death, all that kind of stuff you're not supposed to post. What is that thing? The reported posts, those people and the stuff they have to deal with. Imagine being a law enforcement officer for the dark web. The things that you must see, the things you must read, the people you must deal with on a daily basis. That's a tough job. Like, cops have a tough job. They got to witness murder, violence, domestic violence stuff every day. Like, and if you're in a major city, you see a lot of horrific stuff. But this job, my God, like I said, the donkeys. I don't know what they were doing with all these donkeys, guys. It was crazy.
You see on TV shows and things like that, and what happens in real life where they want to bust somebody, but they're like, well, we need to hold out for the bigger target. That's all that job is feeding it along little by little, waiting for that big target, knowing that you're never going to get the big target because the big target is the Russian government. Like, they're the ones that are enabling it all. And not worldwide, but at least in Russia, it's highly prolific. And yeah, that just seems like such a frustrating job, but I'm glad somebody's doing it. I just couldn't do it.
And the Russians, not for nothing, they have Twitter centers and Facebook centers, and it's people say, oh, the Russians didn't do anything. Regular companies are doing it. Amazon has a warehouse full of people tweeting and commenting on their behalf. So you laugh at the fact that the Russians are doing it and say the Russians aren't doing it. Okay, doofus.
Yeah.
If Amazon finds value in hiring 1,200 people to tweet, "We're not slave drivers," then what do you think Russia's doing, trying to promote and prop up an orange-haired president? Like, shut up. Just stop.
They have an entire country full of underpaid people.
Yeah. Working for bread and soup.
Right.
I will type for soup and a place to live. That was a horrible Russian accent, and I apologize to anybody who's Russian that might be listening to this. And if you're in Russia and you're working for the dark web, don't hack me, okay? I've already seen enough donkeys. I don't need the barrage to come back to me. I apologize. I know it was rough. Next story before I get doxxed.
A story from BuzzFeed News broke down the relationship of Amazon and its last-mile delivery contractors. The report cites injuries, gross negligence, under and unpaid wages, and even deaths resulting in the service, all separated from Amazon by its contracting practices. This... I don't know enough about labor law to say that I'm pro or anti-union. I don't know enough about contracting to make an intelligible decision on whether or not, the legalities of what Amazon is doing. I just know that this story brought a lot of information to me that I didn't know was there, that I probably should have known, that I probably should have figured out myself, and it's a lot of bullshit.
So before I even get started, these last two articles are so deep, and if you're watching this, please read them. The Amazon article is like a novel, so prepare yourself with a cookie and a cup of tea. But before I even make a statement, I'd love to point out the fact that the person who wrote this article on BuzzFeed and wrote it about Amazon. And 47%, I'm making this number up, but it sounds good, 47% of BuzzFeed's articles are 27 pieces of trash you can get from Amazon for $1. 33 things you bought on Amazon that you didn't even know that you didn't have anymore. Why did you get a set same day delivery? And the ever so popular 47 things your grandma will never use, but you could get it on Amazon 2-day free delivery.
Yeah.
This BuzzFeed is the king of Amazon buy my crap lists. And this article is on BuzzFeed. So, that's saying something.
Minor difference. BuzzFeed News and BuzzFeed are not different companies, but they're at least different branches. One of them attempts to be serious. The other one is just pure clickbait. And this is a BuzzFeed News article, but you do bring up a good point. There is some counterintuitiveness to it. BuzzFeed News is the wife and BuzzFeed is the husband. They're sleeping together. They're making their babies. It's coming out all the same thing. It's the same household. I don't care what you just said. I'm not listening to you. Now back to this story. Unions are great. Unions saved America. People try not to have unions. I know a lot about the UPS union, and one statistic that they said, these drivers are putting out 200 packages a day. The average UPS driver is delivering 400 packages a day. Their trucks are twice the size of an Amazon truck usually. The difference is these drivers are trained longer. They're trained better. UPS has been doing this since 1918 or some stuff, back when they were on bicycles, and they have the logistics down pat. Amazon literally has one person deliver me a package, and they didn't deliver it. I called and like, well, where are they at? They're like, oh, well, they're 17 towns over. And I'm like, what? So you literally had them come deliver to me, and now they're going 45 minutes out of the way to deliver one package? And then they want them to deliver 200 packages a day. It's insane. Yeah,
what they're doing. Their logistics is non-existent because they don't know what they're doing. They're building it off the back of contracted people that just want jobs, and they're trying to get this money and don't really have a system down that works yet.
And they're logistically looking at it in a way of how can we deliver the most packages in the least time for the least money. Whereas a company like UPS or FedEx will look at, hey, how can we deliver these packages in the way that makes sense, keeps our drivers and the people that are around our drivers safe, and we're going to keep the people that we employ trained. And by the way, I don't know if you know this, Owen, but UPS folks, they're not paid poorly.
Oh no.
So that alone is a huge difference. There's an incentive to do so, to work safely when you're paid well to work.
They get paid $30 an hour, $25 to $40 an hour, depending on your seniority. So they're getting paid a fair wage. And anyone who's worked in a warehouse dreams of getting a driver job. Like, they're hard to get, they want them, and they're paid very well. And again, yes, they have these drivers pushing to the limit. They're always adding extra pickups to them. At the same time, logistically, they usually figure it out. If they pull a guy off the road, they're replacing him with another guy to come and sweep for them. Amazon is got their foot in every sector. They're postal, they're delivering. UPS is delivering. I think they just stopped delivering with FedEx, but because now they're doing their own thing. But the fact that they're doing it with individual contractors is just so fragmented of, hey, this one guy wants to open up his own delivery truck company. He might know what he's doing for the most part, and he does very well. Then you got another Joe Schmo who's like, I've got 2 vans. Let me do it. and you see people just throwing stuff in the back of vans, and it's again, there's accidents every day.
Yeah.
The cars is the most dangerous way to drive. But when you got guys that don't know what they're doing, just pulling up, stopping in front of driveways and yards and just throwing packages and hopping back in cars, it's a lot. And this article is super detailed and super deep. And with a grain of salt, I will say it makes it seem way worse than it is, because I feel like it should be worse, but it's not as bad as it seems, but it's still bad enough that the danger that's involved, if they had a system in place, it could be fixed.
Yes. And when a company like Amazon is pulling in record profits every year, you look at how they're squeezing the contractors, and the contractors are in turn squeezing the employees, so much so that some of them aren't even getting paid. It's just bad.
It's shameful.
Yeah,
it's shameful. And I've been known for bashing Amazon repeatedly. I mean, at this point, it's almost comical to me. But I mean, they are too great to not do better. And I understand capitalism and how the world works. You know what I mean? You work for free. I haven't paid you a dime. I mean, I got you getting up early in the morning. You're going to bed late. I mean, I know I'm doing it, Amos. Don't look at me like I'm Bezos, but at least I care about you. You know what I mean? At least I can look you in the face and ask you how the family's doing. You know what I mean?
You start asking me to deliver 200 packages a day by bicycle, and this is over.
Hey, I'm trying. You got a drone, don't you? We're trying to throw some fish line to the drone.
I got to get my drone fixed, but that's the story for another time. Sales reports from Mind Factory, one of the largest computer hardware retailers in Germany, show AMD's 3rd generation Ryzen processors vastly outselling Intel's latest chip, about 3-1, with an overall 4-1 in processors in general. AMD has been outselling Intel for the past year, and July and August's market share jumping significantly with the release of these 3rd generation chips. Is Intel's dominance finally over?
It's over. It's done. And this is a really, I don't know that we'll ever really do too many product related stories like this. But this is like, so I just redid my computer with the 2nd generation Ryzen chip, going from a 1800X to a 2700X, and I didn't have to change my motherboard, my RAM, nothing. Everything was still compatible. I just did a software update in the BIOS, and like, Intel doesn't do stuff like that all the time. Like, I've always got to buy new stuff and change out everything.
Intel will have the same the same generation on 3 different platforms.
Yeah,
like,
and and the price is it's 3 times the price.
Yeah,
for if sometimes less than 10% or 5% quote unquote upgrade. Yeah. So for the value for the money that you're getting, and the fact that right now I'm running an NVIDIA card in with my AMD, so if I want a game, I can still ball till I fall. I mean, these processors are outrageously amazing for the price that you're getting them at. And
yeah,
Intel's got a problem. I mean, Intel still runs the world as far as other devices that they've got their stuff into, and they've got a hold of Apple until Apple comes up with that ARM chip for their laptops, which I know is coming. I know that's coming. So Intel's got a problem, bro. Intel got competition.
And I think that's what. So when AMD came out with the new Ryzen processors, they came out with a totally different architecture. They came out swinging, saying, "Hey, we're not trying to iterate we are coming out with something. It's not even a renovate or whatever. It's new. This is leave the old versions completely behind. We're coming out with something totally different, and they have, and it's been amazing. And all this came out, of course, right after I built my current rig, because that's how life works. But my next rig, there's no way I'm spending the extra money on an Intel processor. They used to buy Intel because it was more stable. You'd be able to play more with the AMD, but there had more problems. Basically the NVIDIA ATI thing. ATI made better card, but NVIDIA made better drivers. So if you wanted something that just worked, you bought NVIDIA. If you wanted something that you play with, you bought ATI. Same thing. It used to be AMD. You could play with it more, but Intels were more stable. And
and you'd also mess it up because you play with your AMD so much, you'd overclock it just the hair too much, and you'd burn them out. Like, you get greedy.
Yep.
That's what the bottom line on that always happened to me. What happened to me twice before I learned my lesson. Yeah. Because you're like, oh, I could bump it up. It's handling it. Nope. But now you don't even have to overclock anymore. These 16 threads, these 32 threads, boy, they out here pumping.
Yeah, and it's pretty amazing. Speaking of pumping, a new deepfake app called Zao has hit the streets in China. The app will place your face over an actor's face in several movie clips using just a single photo of your face. While it clearly has its limitations, the app can only use pre-designated movie clips, for example. It is definitely a sign that the deepfake processing is getting better, faster, and more worrisome. Doing so very quickly.
I'd like to let you know that this is not what I look like. I've never looked like this. Ever. Every time I've ever been online or a photo, this is not me.
But what about in person?
In person?
Yeah.
In person, it's a Scooby-Doo mask. That's why I have to keep up the persona. Because if I showed up as my actual self to see you, you would be scared. You'd be like, you're not Doctor.
So what you're saying is that the technology isn't getting better. It's just catching up to where you're already at.
Oh, no dizzy, no doubt. Okay, let's put it this way. When I told you I was searching on the dark web, this is what I was looking for. Okay, and I found the golden grail. All right, I'm out here in WitSec. I'm about to Scooby-Doo it right now. Just pull it. Nah, I can't show y'all. But hey, look, it's the technology is getting super impressive. There was a video the other day that someone put up of she's from Glow Wrestling on Netflix, and they put Jim Carrey's face on her. And it is, I got to find it and put it in the post, but it's scary. Like, she's turning her head left to right, and she looks like Jim Carrey talking in her voice with his mannerisms on her face. And I'm like, wow. That woman who got caught using her webcam, and she was like 60 something, and she looked like a 24-year-old girl. She was catfishing dudes into sending her money. Like, these webcams, these cameras, this software, it is real and it is out there. I just wanted this story just to let you know that you might be talking to a 13-year-old dinosaur. You don't know what you're dealing with. Yeah, it's dangerous in these streets. Not only do I need ID, I need a birth certificate, I need a fingerprint scan, I need a DNA test. Like, I'm not believing nothing from nobody. Nobody.
I'm almost scared that you might be able to get the age of somebody from a DNA test. That would I'm not sure that'd work out very well.
Why not? The bone marrow, I mean, we go deep, brother. We out here. we doing checking fossils. We doing the whole bit, Science.
Oh, hey, it's about that time. Let's take a minute and thank the sponsor of this here episode.
Woohoo!
Do you want to supercharge your building powers in WordPress? Your form building powers in WordPress? For Gravity has got you covered. For Gravity offers a suite of Gravity Forms add-ons that allow you to schedule automatic reports of your form submissions, generate editable PDFs of your customers' data, and set form-level permissions that prevent users from accessing settings they shouldn't be able to. We love For Gravity, and if you make forms, you will love it too. Supercharge your forms today at forgravity.com. That's FORGRAVITY.com.
For gravity. For gravity. If it was not for gravity, we would all be floating into space.
We'd all be formless.
Oh. Well, I'm already kind of formless.
Well,
Maybe I could squish myself down. Maybe let's get rid of this gravity and see if I can slim up a little bit and see what happens. But
be 8 foot tall.
that's right. That's right. Oh, it'd be amazing.
All right, we're going to go on to our next segment, which is called 5 on 5. It's a working title. If you don't like it, let us know. tech@iqmz.com. Here we'll take 5 stories from last week and give our one-word impression of each. I'll start this round. The Nintendo Switch Lite is due in stores September 20th.
Pointless.
Interesting.
Anthony Lewandowski? Lewandowski? That's such a long name. Anthony Lewandowski has been indicted for stealing trade secrets from Google and giving them to Uber. Oh,
Overdue.
amazing. If you're listening to audio, I'm winking right now. Amazing.
Manny Pacquiao is planning to launch the PAC cryptocurrency based in merchandise.
Is this one word? Scam City. So, there's a hyphen in there.
Pointless.
There you go. Google abandons the dessert names with the launch of Android 10.
Duh.
Finally.
Kerf is a wooden case for your oh so precious Apple Card to prevent scratches and discoloration.
Son of a bitch. Is that one word? I don't know if that's one word.
It is too. It is today.
Okay.
I'm gonna say precious.
you get out of here. If you get one of those wooden boards, I'm gonna smack you in the back of the head with it. Okay.
I already got the card. I might as well get the wooden case because it's never gonna go in my wallet anyway. It's a token of appreciation. It's a fanboy trophy.
Yeah. Send your hate mail to tech@iqmz.com to Anthony. That's horrible. That's horrible.
That's how it works. Hey, you have a podcast called Raising a Ninja.
I do. It's like one of the only consistent things I'm doing, making my daughter talk about her lifestyle and freedoms and joy. So if you like torturing children or want to listen to children getting tortured, please check out Raising a Ninja.
And now we know why you're.
IQMZ.com.
Now we know why you're on the dark web. The real
That's
reason.
Right. hey, look. Yeah, I gotta go look for the FBI helicopter. You gotta watch what you say. You can't be out here setting me up like that, brother. You can't mention the kids and dark web in the same sentence. That's not kosher at all. You're fired. I'm fired. You're not in the union, so I gotta let you go. You can't fight it. I can't tolerate that kind of behavior.
Good times.
Grand opening, grand closing.
IQMZ Tech records live. It's going to be every Monday morning, afternoon, depending on your time zone. You can be part of the show by emailing tech@iqmz.com, and you can also hit us up on Twitter @IQMZ. You can subscribe to our show. Is it still on youtube.com/IQMZ Media? I think that's where it's at.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, these the return jitters are still hitting us. Give us a chance. And, of course, you can cruise on by IQMZ.com for all things IQMZ. I'm Amos at Ethan Kane on Twitter. Tweet me. Let me know what you plan on doing with your Apple Card.
I'm your boy on JJ Stone, docked on everything that's useful. If I'm not there, it's not important. And I didn't get an Apple Card because they told me that it wasn't a bank, and I refuse to support their lying system. It's still a bank. It's still sacks of whatever, ripping people off. And don't get me started. We're going to talk about that another day. Anyway, no Apple Card, no wooden box for me, okay? All right? You know,
but it actually comes in a nice cardboard package with the Apple logo. That you can't. There you go. There you can see it there. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, multicolored.
When I get one, I'm gonna put it in a condom and tie it off and then throw it in the bottom of a drawer. That's how I feel about that card. Okay,
All
that's
right.
just gonna happen.
And with that, we'll see you next time.